definitely alive. So here today, myself, James, Andy on the right. Give us a wave, Andy, and Mo on the left. We've got E-Border watching in the house. Hey, man. So you guys tell us all about 2Swift.
Right, so Mo and I are the guys behind 2Swift. So 2Swift is it's a two-wheel inline. We call it an electric skateboard, but it's a project we've been kind of working on for a little over 3 years now. We started, probably about 3 years ago is when we made the first prototype, and we wanted to develop a two-wheel inline electric skateboard. And we kind of started by drawing some ideas on a chalkboard, and we made our first prototype out of it was a big steel contraption, but we wanted to kind of test the front end geometry of the 2Swift board, which you can see. Tested that out on the first prototype, and we were pretty impressed by the handling and how the board felt. It was like super agile, super nimble, but it also
caster front wheel. Am I right?
It is. It is a caster, but it has like a negative rake angle on the head tube. So if you can kind of see it on the board behind me, but the head tube is like raked at a negative angle.
Increases stability. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of what that does is when you put your weight on the board, it automatically centers the front wheel, and then in order for the front wheel to turn, it actually has to like pick up some of your body weight. So it makes it like super stable at high speeds.
Nice.
So that was kind of the idea that we were testing on the first prototype, and we tested different geometries, different rake angles, different trail lengths, and then from there, kind of once we got the geometry where we liked it, started working on like lightweighting, working on the electronics, chassis, and then kind of designing it for production. So that's kind of in a nutshell how it developed. But we just started selling boards in April of this year. So this was kind of our first year of selling product and getting the boards out there, going to trade shows, some consumer feedback.
How's that gone? You had a good sort of best part of the first year now?
It's been pretty good. I mean, I think from starting as like a brand that no one really knows exists, and getting some brand awareness and getting people on the boards, it's been pretty positive. I mean, we'd like to see the sales be a little bit better, but at the same time, we're a brand new company, and I think the biggest thing that we got to do is like get people on the board and to try it. So that's kind of
exactly.
That's the challenge.
That kind of maybe the novelty or unusual, the two-wheel design is something different for a lot of folks, isn't it? E-Border here everyone seems to love it who tries it. I guess it's a feel thing, isn't it? You ride it, you feel it, and you enjoy the feeling, I guess, and get one.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like how it feels, it feels like a snowboard where it has like a hard edge on it, like where you can really put your weight into it. And I think that's where like people are surprised at like how you can really lean the board over, so you can pretty much lean it to where you can like almost drag your heels or toes on the ground, and it feels like your weight is it's supported underneath you, like it doesn't feel like it's gonna skid out, but then it's just like scalpel, the ability for it to switch sides is incredible.
So it really is like on that knife's edge from like heel to toe. It sort of can quickly flip under your control.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man. I guess motorbikes, isn't it? As another analogy, sort of two wheels at speed.
Some people call it like a motorcycle for your feet. Some people call it like an electric ripstick. So we've gotten some cool
ripstick
analogies. Yeah.
How? Yeah, I did notice. I've watched some of your stuff on Instagram to stay ready for this interview. And what about the width of the actual sort of the real estate for your foot? I guess is the toe and heel overhanging a little bit?
There is a little bit of overhang. It depends on what shoe size you got, but
Sure. Yeah.
yeah,
That's does the average guy's toe and heel sort of hang over, you know?
I think for me, I wear like a size 11 US, and like my heel is, I got a good part of my heel on it, and I definitely got the balls of my feet on it. So like where you're
Yeah.
putting the weight into it, I feel like it's supported. But you know, as far as making a wider deck, that's easy.
Yeah, I guess it works as it is. You've tried lots of iterations, and that's what feels right. Just something I picked up on watching. I could see just obviously comparing it to skateboards and standing on decks. You know, I've ridden both wider and narrower. You know.
Just wanted to make sure it had, good articulation on the leaning.
Yeah, I do get that vibe. It is a lean turn, isn't it? Rather than a steered.
It's
Steer on the front and the lean. Got both, I guess. Yeah.
it honestly kind of just depends on how fast you're going. So like when you're going fast, the front wheel pretty much, like from the gyroscopic forces of the wheel, the front wheel like stays in line with the back wheel, and then you're more like carbon on the tire profile like a motorcycle. And then when you're going
Yeah, I get
slow,
it.
the caster
Then
actually
the
steers a
caster
lot when
kicks
you're going
in.
slow.
So yeah, it does sound like you're getting the best of both, the way you described earlier. You know, the straight line stability and then maneuverability at slower speeds. It's the holy grail, isn't it? You know?
Okay? One would think.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I was getting vibes. It was giving me a bit of a surf skate vibe, little bit. You know, with the lean. You know what I mean? I was seeing certain sort of things there. You know. It's all good fun, isn't it? As long as we're enjoying riding, everyone's enjoying doing the same sort of stuff, you know.
It is good
Um,
fun.
yeah, that's it. It's great to get all the different kinds of PEVs together, really, isn't it? You know, our one-wheel friends, our two-wheel friends, four, three. You know. Here we go. Suki, could you provide some insights into the engineering principles behind the tool design? Particularly we touched on quite a lot of this already. I'm thinking, guys. Let's see what we're focusing on. Can you read it
Man, I
your
mean, so
side?
another thing that we have added into the front end too is we have a steering dampener that also provides stability to kind of reduce, getting any oscillation out of that front caster, so you don't get any wobble, or at least reduce the likelihood of that. So, I mean, that was something that
Learned that
also
from
decided,
testing. Yeah, that was something we learned from testing. We like when we were making the first prototypes, if you're hitting like bumps and stuff when you're banking corners, sometimes you would get like a caster flutter in the front wheel. So to mitigate that, we there's a built-in steering dampener in the headset, and that's all adjustable, and it works on like a friction disc stack. So that can be you can essentially make more damping or less damping in the headset, and we kind of just set it in the middle out of the factory.
What does he use again? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. What's the method?
It's a friction disc damper, and it's built into the headset. So the 2Swift actually uses like mountain bike grade like
Yeah,
headset parts.
headset. Yeah, yeah.
So on the top there's a steering dampener built in, um,
Ah,
which prevents the front wheel from it just pretty much slows down how fast the front wheel can move side to side,
yeah. Oh, that's
and it's
cool.
adjustable.
So that's really work. That's like a big sort of design improvement you come up with.
Yeah, that was something that it really just it gives you a lot more confidence when you're riding it.
For sure. Is that something you guys can, I don't know, patent or copyright? I don't know what the term is. You on that, or is it not something that's possible? I feel like I'm on Dragon's Den here. I'm just imagining. You know, did, you, did we
Say
lose
that.
each other there? I was
No, yeah,
asking,
say
is
that
that
again.
something you guys can patent or copyright? It seems like a good sort of thing you've come up with there. You know.
Yeah, we got something in the works for that yeah,
Good.
that's kind of a key design feature.
Yeah. it's something you guys have found works well. You know, it's important. We don't like wobbles, do we? On e-skates, the same. You know,
Don't want those.
no one likes a speed wobble. You know.
Experience a couple of those. It's not fun.
No, it's all part of the game, but we want to keep it to a minimum. Oh yeah, how are you finding marketing? Question from eSkater. You got any thoughts on that, or are you more into like the engineering side of things?
Yeah, we can talk about the marketing. So, I mean, right now we got a small team. Like Mo and I mostly do all the day-to-day operations, and the marketing is something that neither of us really. I would say like we didn't really have any experience with the marketing, kind of getting started. So that's been something that we've been learning a lot about. But as far as the marketing goes, obviously we're trying to push it on the social media, get as many YouTube reviews that we can out there, and just going to these expos and trade shows to kind of get people on the board.
Yeah, I bet that's a big part. Again, people actually feeling it, you know.
100%. That's probably been the biggest thing, I think, is going to the trade shows and expos, and then before we have some big plans to kind of expand like our ambassador program, so we can get we want to develop like a team of ambassadors, and these ambassadors was essentially be people that help create content, and then also are essentially like a hub where if people are interested and they want to try a 2Swift board before they buy one, they can reach out to an ambassador that's in their area and try the board out before before they.
Yeah, that sounds a good way to go. Get those boards out there and people on them, and enjoy it. They'll want to do more of it, I guess, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, if anyone's interested in that, you can go to our website and there's an ambassador application if you guys want to check it out.
Oh, that's great. Maybe Sophie will pop up a link or in the comments or such like. So talking about expos and such like, the big one that pops into my head over your side of the pond, ESK8 were you guys there last year and going this year?
Yeah, we were at ESK8 last year. I actually took it to the first annual ESK8 just as a guy showing up. I brought the prototype board just to show it off and kind of see what people thought of it. And then we went last year as a vendor, and we're game planning to be there again this year.
Cool.
And then the outside of ESK8 we do the Electrify Expo that allows us to travel throughout the U.S. Because I mean, you look at a video online on Instagram or YouTube, and it still doesn't answer the question if you can ride it. So getting people on the board and getting them to try that's really been probably the biggest thing for us.
Thanks, Sophie. Yeah, that's great. So is that kind of all different electric vehicles, kind of larger cars and RVs and such like as well, or is it smaller personal electric vehicles?
Yeah, it's like I think there was Tesla, BMW, like Volkswagen, all the big car companies go, nice. And then there's a bunch of different PEVs, pretty much anything electric you can find there. It's a pretty fun expo if you're looking to kind of figure out what's going on in the EV space.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I think you look at it, it's a little intimidating at first, but most people learning curve time on it, say on average, is between like 5 to 10 minutes. Initially, the getting going part, that could take a little bit of time, but once you start going, the leaning and the riding is intuitive, and we tell people from there, you kind of start to learn to map out your rides, how the acceleration is, how the braking is, and where you're comfortable at riding, and you kind of build up to it.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Is there a certain kind of speed? Are we talking like 5 miles an hour? It just kind of follows the line a bit more?
Yeah, I'd say 5 to 7 miles per hour is when it like starts tracking and it gets easier to ride. But it's honestly like harder to ride it slow than it is to ride it fast. Like once you get the balance and like build up the muscle memory in your feet and in your ankles, and you can ride it real slow, that's like when it's like insanely maneuverable. But that's
that caster's kicking in more then.
Yeah, that's like the hardest part to learn, I would say.
So you guys obviously really good at riding it now, sort of starting and stopping, no problem, just kind of scooting off like
Yeah, Mo's hitting
a
jumps
regular
now.
skate.
Yes. We're getting to the trick side of things.
Ah, so jumping, nice.
No,
So
we're not
what
jumping
sort,
yet. That was a joke.
are you going to be attaching yourselves to it? Are you going to get in bungees or bindings or any mad stuff like that?
We got some ideas that we're thinking about. Like if we made one that was faster and more powerful, we'd probably put like a front stirrup on it.
Ah, yeah, just a front, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
What size are those tires? Are they 8 inches or 7s?
so they're 9.5-inch
Oh,
tubeless pneumatic tires.
okay. So yeah, that's a good size tire, isn't it?
They're pretty good. Like as far as hitting bumps and stuff and little cracks in the
Yeah,
sidewalk, it just eats it up.
I ride 9s and 8s generally on my pneumatics, and so 9s will deal with most things, won't they? You know. Is there a limit to the size? Can you get? Not that you might want any bigger. Could you get a 10-inch tire in there, or like the way the curve did? Would that stop you?
You wouldn't be able to just bolt it on. We'd have to change some of the geometry because you run into some clearance issues. But as far as scaling the tire size, you really could make it as big as you want. But then the length just starts getting crazy because you got to put your feet between the tires, so it just starts getting real long.
Yeah, 9 seems plenty big enough, doesn't it, in most situations?
Pretty solid for the first start.
So how about the battery and ESCs and all this kind of stuff? What sort of configuration is the battery and range?
Yeah, the battery is it's a 12S 3P configuration, and it's using Molicel P42A cells, and I'm trying to think what it is. 544 watt hours. It's 50.4 volts when it's fully charged, and then the range is, I mean, realistic real world range is like 16 to 21 miles. Like I'll usually get like 18 miles on it because I'm a little bit bigger than Mo. But Mo will get like 21, 22 miles on when he's riding.
Yeah, and that's like in full high mode, just pinning the throttle the entire time.
Yeah.
So like real world numbers, like if you're just actively on the throttle and pushing it, you expect 16 to 21.
I got you. And then how about top speeds and what are we top speeding at?
Speed is 24 miles an hour. And I know you asked about the motor controller. It uses a VESC motor controller. So
yeah.
And yeah, if you guys are familiar with the VESC, you can you can.
Which one of the controllers is that?
It's a Spin 10 U box.
I got you.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting too technical. I don't need to go into it. We don't need to go into amps and such like, do we? Motor amps and is that top secret?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give everything away, but
no, it's cool. That's fair enough.
I know the
answer. Keep a little bit of intrigue.
Yeah.
No worries. Oh, good stuff. Braking system. Question from Suki. How does the braking system work, guys?
It's all regen braking.
Sure.
Same as the ESK8, but we're using ours is a hub motor, so there's no belts or gear drive or anything like that. So direct drive hub motor.
You should be chatting to our friend James. He loves his hubs. The other James.
The hubs are nice, man. There's no maintenance on them.
Yeah. They really do. They do a good job, So I'm gonna sound really like I don't know your product well at all now. It is 2-wheel drive, isn't it? Front and rear, or?
It's just rear wheel.
Just rear. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, that makes with the turn on the front would be tricky to get power through that, I guess. Yeah.
And it would be super heavy. The hub motor is like 1/3 of the weight of the whole board.
Got you. So the weight's on the back. So yeah, that front stirrup then you could be pulling wheelies, I guess you're thinking, is it?
The weight is pretty 50-50 even distribution as far as weight distribution, but if you just look at component wise, the motor's 1/3.
Okay. So yeah, okay. What about charging? And 1 amp charger, and how long to charge?
4 amp charger, and it takes about a little over 3 hours to charge, 190 minutes.
Yeah, that's like from 0 to full, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's from dead.
Yeah, it's best not to ride them that low if you can, isn't it? Maybe stop at a third or thereabouts.
You just need to get home.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to get home as well. I hear that stateside, that the distance between things, generally people are riding pretty far, you know? Customizations, I saw a question come up. And any customization possible?
Yeah, so as far as the customization goes, so we offer, there's a 6-month warranty on the board. And that being said, if you do want to screw around with the vest settings, that'll void your warranty. But I mean, you can do, you know how the vest works if you're familiar, and there's a lot of stuff you can do with the vest, and so that's we wanted to keep it an open source project, just so people can kind of do what they want with it, and then also it's also kind of helps with R&D, kind of figuring out what's really possible.
Absolutely. I think that's a good way to go. See so many manufacturers trying to close. I think it's better if you can keep it open, isn't it? For customization. Here we go from ESK8. Water resistance with the hubs, or in general, anything peculiar to the hubs or board in particular?
Yeah, the hub motor is IP66. Well, I think that's water resistant. So I think for that test is like high pressure water jets, and it's pretty much water resistant is what I would say it is. But you wouldn't want to like take it and submerge it completely underwater.
James there.
Suki, are you still there?
I guess while we're waiting on, maybe James will jump back in here. So a couple of things that we're working on right now for the current 2SWIFT. We've released, light accessories that we've done. You can add direct tread lights to them. So that's for the front and rear lights. And then we just released our front fender there. And then we're working on the rear, the back fender as well.
He's back, baby.
There he is.
I'm back. Sorry, guys. Back fender. What a point to come back in on. I'm going to have to go around the world. The phone is going to turn. So what's going on with that back fender, guys?
We were just talking about some of the accessories that we've, some of the projects that we've been working on right now. We've released like these, front and rear light adapters for the shed lights. And then we just released our front fender, and we're working on the back fender at the moment right now.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So I'm thinking now, water splashing, riding. Is the fender keeping the water, keeping us dry? Oh, that's
Keeps
cool.
the pants nice and dry.
Yeah. Trousers over here in the UK, and we have the same problem. They get wet on the e-skates a lot of the time. I ride a mountain board myself, and I couldn't be going anywhere sort of smart the state I arrive in. I have to wear like waterproof trousers and get real muddy, So yeah, that's a real selling point, isn't it? for guys around town and want to look good and keep smart, fenders.
If you want to look good, you're going to need the fenders.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking Milan in Europe, the guys, sort of mopeds have got a history there. Petrol mopeds, kind of everyone sort of looking dandy. I could see you having an advertising campaign with the Swift there, you know, riding through puddles, keeping the pants dry. Like it.
Not a bad idea.
Just a thought.
I got you.
Oh, this is cool, guys. Suki saying here, oh, this is the question. Have you had time to? This is. I would hate this on an exam in school, you know. Either.
This is a tough question.
You haven't seen this question before, have you? You can just say pass if you like, because I didn't like it.
I mean, we can take a stab at it, but I mean, we're hoping that. Yeah, we're hoping that you know, people start riding this 2SWIFT board and they like it. I think from what we've kind of seen from just the initial customers and people at the expos, man, people seem to really like this thing, and they're intimidated by it first, and then once they try it out, they're like, this thing isn't that hard to ride, and then from there it's like there's kind of like a learning curve to it, which kind of keeps you excited. And you know, I guess in 150 years, it'd be sweet if everyone was riding these things, but yeah. I don't know if that'll be the case. But you know, I hope more people give it a shot and you know, just try it out. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, could be having fun getting around, burning less fossil fuels. It's got to be little steps in the right direction, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's wish for a better future, a fun future. So lovely chatting to you guys. I understand there's a bit of an event on this evening for one of you or both of you. I think it was yourself, Andy, wasn't it? Yeah. And Andy's out having fun tonight. We started early here. So yeah, but thanks for stopping by and thanks for stopping by and telling us all about your product. Wish you all the best for the future. Come back on again and tell us how amazing it's gone.
We appreciate it, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us on, and thanks for the time, and let's touch base soon.
Sure thing, brother. Take it easy. Ride, have